Hello, I'm Joe Manganiello with your WDT News Year in Review for 2014. Today we examined the 10 biggest local stories of the year, as ranked by our Times editors. But first, an honorable mention. To cap off its undefeated season, Indian River football won the first ever state title by a North Country team, defeating Queensbury 63-38 in the Class A final at the Carrier Dome. Number 10, school merger rejected. After more than a year of discussion, voters in the Canton and Potsdam Central School Districts turned out passionately on October 30th to reject a possible merger of the two districts by more than a 2-to-1 ratio. Without the additional $35.3 million in state aid a merger would have promised, both districts are projected to deplete their fund balances within 3 years. Number 9, Alcoa East shuts down. In January, Alcoa announced plans to close the last 2 pot lines at its Messina East plant, calling them no longer competitive. The plant had smelted aluminum since 1959, and it employed 332 workers, about 1/3 of the company's 1,000-person workforce in the town. Number 8, Fort Drum fears. The effects of Army downsizing decided in 2013 were felt at Fort Drum in 2014, as the 10th Mountain Division's 3rd Brigade combat team deactivated in August, a loss of about 1,500 soldiers. Months earlier, a worst-case scenario of North Country cuts was outlined, as many as 16,000 soldiers cut that would cause a $1.6 billion economic catastrophe across the region. A local public hearing about potential new cuts is scheduled in March. Number 7, Kevin Ward's death. When 3-time NASCAR champion Tony Stewart struck 20-year-old Port Lydon driver Kevin Ward in August, it made national headlines and rocked the auto racing world. Stewart, who could have faced manslaughter charges, called the accident a tragedy, while Ward's family blamed Stewart for their loved one's death. Number 6, hospitals in crisis. E.J. Noble Hospital in Gouverneur dissolved and became Gouverneur Hospital, which now operates under a 2-hospital healthcare organization which includes Canton Potsdam Hospital, called St. Lawrence Health System. Claxton Hepburn and River Hospital in Alexandria Bay announced in late November they are exploring a collaborative effort. And Carthage Area Hospital entered into an affiliation with Samaritan Medical Center in Watertown. In July, Carthage Area received $10.4 million award of federal funds that allowed the hospital to remain open, pay bills, and continue to see patients. Number 5, Jenna Hinman. In March, Jenna gave birth to twin girls, who were born prematurely at 30 weeks. Shortly after that, doctors found cancer and tumors in Jenna's uterus, and 2 months into her battle on May 5th, Jenna died at the age of 26. Hundreds of thousands of supporters rallied prayers and funding for her medical fight, and the Prayers for Jenna Facebook page has more than 460,000 followers. Number 4, Mary Raine's first year. And number 3, Nick Hillary charged, freed. Raine brought hope to the family of Garrett Phillips, a 12-year-old Potsdam boy who was found slain in his home in 2011 by gaining an indictment against then Clarkson University head soccer coach Oral Nick Hillary on a murder charge in May. 5 months later, however, those charges were dismissed by County Court Judge Jerome Richards for what he called Raine's bullying and prejudicial questions of grand jury witnesses and the use of circumstantial evidence. On December 12th, Hillary learned that Raine intended to take his case to another grand jury in mid-January to seek re-indictment. Number 2, historic elections. Republican Elise Stefanik, 30, became the youngest woman ever elected to Congress, while Democrat Colleen O'Neill became the first woman ever elected sheriff in New York State. And our number 1 story for 2014, Amish girls abducted. 2 Amish sisters were abducted from the roadside vegetable stand they were manning outside their family's farmhouse in Heuvelton. The case of the missing girls, ages 7 and 12, captivated local and national attention and prompted a statewide Amber Alert that led to an intensive search. The girls thankfully turned up 24 hours later, and 2 days after the August 13th abduction, authorities arrested Stephen Howells and Nicole Vasey. Howells and Vasey are now accused of sexually exploiting 6 girls and face charges in St. Lawrence County Court as well as federal court, with a federal trial scheduled for March 23rd. If you think we've left anything off our list, let us know under the top 10 posts on our Facebook page. You can find any of the stories we talked about on the webcast today online. go to WatertownDailyTimes.com or find us on Twitter at WDT News. And you can find us on Facebook searching the Watertown Daily Times. And you can read our extensive Top 10 coverage in our last Sunday edition of the year, out today. Well, for your WDT News, I'm Joe Manganiello.